Senate races going on in your neck of the woods, and it's a crucial battle for the control of the Senate.
Well, I don't disagree, but it's up to the candidates to, frankly, I look at it, to raise their money, to have a message. And I can promise you the right candidates with the right message will get funded. It, to me, is certainly disappointing that the party chose to endorse Rick Lazio, knowing that he wasn't a credible candidate. And it certainly played out that way. So for the benefit of the party, I'm glad Carl's there. Carl will win the Republican primary. And I think he will be Andrew Cuomo's worst nightmare come true.
And what does that mean, though, when you say that? I mean, he'll be Andrew Cuomo's worst nightmare because he's unfettered?
He's going to talk about the issues. No, he's going to talk about the issues. When he talks about cutting the tax burden in New York State by reducing the optional programs in Medicaid, it's a fair question to ask Andrew, what is he going to do on the optional programs in Medicaid? What's he going to do with the state aid to cities and schools, and what's he going to do on the Triborough Amendment and binding arbitration for fire and police? Those are very specific questions that the public needs a yes-no answer to. And right now, you've not heard anything coming out of the other candidates because they're controversial issues. Carl's going to talk about the issues. He's going to alienate some people with what he says, but it's the only way to save this state and turn it around.
Now, you know, actually, he has a running mate. His name is Tom Ognebenny. He's a former city council minority leader in New York City. He's a little bit up there in years, and we haven't seen that much of him. I'm just curious, are you interested in the lieutenant governor position maybe sometime down the road if, in fact, it came open?
No, never. I've been saying that forever. I love being the Erie County executive. We're the largest upstate county. We're, I think, setting an example across the state for reform in government. Certainly our financial success in Erie County has been speaking for itself. No, I love being Erie County executive. I'm running for re-election next year. That is my focus, and you know, I've got no other interest at this time.
You know, one thing that we actually haven't, one more person that we haven't heard from is Suffolk County Executive Steve Levy. He's supposed to make a decision by the end of this week as to whether he'll pursue a run for governor on an independent line, not the Independence Party line, much like what Carl Paladino is doing with the taxpayer line. What was your feeling about Ed Cox's wooing him into the race and the party flipping that he did? And do you think it was appropriate for the chairman of the Republican Party to do that?
Well, I think it was more a sign that Rick Lazio is not credible. And so what Ed was doing was soliciting a candidate who has been a successful county executive, and Steve has. Steve has money in the bank. And so more than anything, what you did see was the Republican chairman trying to recruit a credible candidate. There's no question in my mind Steve Levy would have been credible, but it did not play well with Republican county chairs, and so at the end of the day, Steve did not qualify on the Republican ballot, well, and that's again why I'm happy to see Carl there.
But you know, just to play that out, if he really was looking for someone and it was a question of money, he could have just gone for Carl. I mean, you did, so I mean, why not just go there? He was running already, he was available.
Well, that was my suggestion.
Oh, you suggested it to him? Huh.
Oh, absolutely. I've been behind Carl since he came out. I had a conversation. I was perhaps the lone wolf from day one saying Carl Paladino is the real deal. He will win the Republican primary. I know Carl. Others who didn't know them, I don't believe they understood the passion of Carl Paladino, the sincerity of Carl Paladino. He doesn't bluff. They heard him say he'd spend $10 million. They didn't believe him. I know Carl Paladino. There's no bluff in the man. He is the real deal. He is outspoken. There'll be controversy around him, but he's the only candidate that can fix New York State. And I believe the public's going to understand that as his campaign moves forward.
Well, County Executive, I really want to thank you for joining us. Also, will we see you on the campaign trail with Carl Paladino at all?
I will have no problem traveling to speak if asked on Carl's behalf. That's Carl's call, but I'm not somebody that does anything halfway, and I'm enthusiastic in my support of Carl Paladino.
Well, we'll be looking for you in